Hey guys, and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Laboratory Audio's Strikeforce Cinematic Percussion. And it's a new company, it's their first product release, and I've got to say it's a pretty bloody damn good first impression with this product. It's one of those percussion libraries that I would recommend many people taking a look at. Now I know you might be wondering, another percussion library, there's so many out there. Do I need it? I already own loads of percussion libraries. Do I really need another one? The question really you should be asking is, how well are you getting on with those libraries? And, they may sound good, but how much music are you making with those libraries? And how easy are they to use? Is your workflow, a little bit hindered by how they've laid out the controls, or is there not enough features in there? And for me, productivity is always really important, and having products that not only sound good but work really well as an instrument when you're using them is really important, because I don't know about you, but I hate wasting time trying to do very simple tasks, and it really frustrates me, not with just libraries but with just plugins or anything in general. I just want to make music. I want to crack on and make music. And this is one of those libraries where you can just crack on and you can think of something and you can implement it really quickly. So this is the interface here. You've got two different mixes. You've got your close mix and you've got your far mix. Really cool straight away off the bat is that if I select, which one is this one? Straight off the bat, your mod wheel controls the blend between the close and the far, which is really cool because you can automate this and you can do some really cool sounding stuff, especially if you're doing percussion rolls and that. But it's just one of those things where it's just really handy to have right there in front of you, because you can be listening to one of the patches and you blending the drums together and you go, I need to add a little bit more room mic to it, and you can just literally select the channel and just start moving your mod wheel until you're happy, which is awesome. The other thing you can do here with the mixes is you've got independent controls between your attack, decay, sustain and release. You can also change the pitch, and you've also got this thing called attack velocity, where you can actually give it a bit more poke and whatnot. You've got your velocity response here, so if you've got, when you're playing a sample that's really soft, you can match the volume of that sample to something that's a harder hitting sample, so they sound more consistent. Again, this is CC mappable. You can assign it to something, and you can do some really interesting performance things with that, which is something that I've wanted for a long time with many libraries. They do offer you the velocity response feature, but one thing that they all fail to do is let you map it so you can actually use it in your session and not just sort of stare at it and move it up and down and that's all you're going to get out of it. So that's a really great feature that these guys have allowed you to use. And you've also got control for the pan for each of the different samples, depending on what patches you load up. Now, there's many different patches in this library. They're very generous actually, and how it's broken down is you've got three main folders. You've got your ensembles and solo percussion, you've got your impacts, menus and effects, and your TikToks. So if I just show you how many different patches are in this library, you'll be pretty impressed. So the big drums is the main one, and you can see already there's just lots to play with. And you might be wondering with the naming on these, actually, like bomber, buffle drum, and all these different names, and you'd think, I'd rather have traditional names so I know if these are taikos or suradus or bass drums and whatnot. And when I spoke to the guys about this, actually, all these patches are no one particular set of drums. They're a mix of different ensembles of different kit pieces together, so that's why they've kind of got these cool names, is because it's a mixture of different drums to actually create the patches. So going on, hybrids, again, you've got lots of stuff in hybrids. Metals, you've got some stuff for your metals, small drums, snares, And if we move on to impacts and effects, you've got, you know, the things you'd expect, like your sub hits, your trailer hits, and all the rest of it. And then you've got your high-end sounding things. So you've got your clock ticks and ticky-tocks. Very cute named patch. So what I'm really excited about and what I really want to show you guys is how this library is actually mapped out. So when you're working with sample libraries, the traditional way to do things is that all the samples are mapped to a key, and depending on the velocity, you know, if it's a high velocity value or a low one, it will trigger the different sound or the different sample for that particular instrument. So, you know, high velocity, hard drum hit, low velocity, soft drum hit. That's the traditional method. It's on the left side of the keyboard here, which they've generously included. But the side I want to show you is this side of the keyboard, and it's very much using the Junkie XL approach towards scoring drums, and I actually prefer this approach because you have a lot more control. And how it works is the individual samples are actually split across nearly an octave. So on the left side of the key range you have the softer hits, and as you move towards the right, obviously they get harder. And then as you move up the octaves here, the drums are tuned slightly higher, so you have a different variation. Now what this allows you to do is make huge sounding drum parts just out of using one patch. But the other thing it also allows you to do is, because all of well, not all of them, but 90% of the patches in this library are all mapped exactly the same, it allows you to just copy the MIDI data over to a different patch, and away you go. You don't have to worry about going into the MIDI data and moving the notes around to compensate for where it's mapped out on the keyboard. It just works, and this is where the time saving happens, and you can just make huge sounding percussion ensembles in a matter of minutes. And just to demonstrate this, what I've done is I've just quickly made a very short drum pattern. And then what I've done is I've copied the exact same pattern. In fact, I'll merge these. And I've copied it across the octave, so it's playing, you know, in the different areas here. And watch what happens. This is just one patch, by the way. You can just get big drums very quickly. And if I just take some of this it's so good. And if I was to copy this over to a different section here, I'm just going to bump the volume up a little bit on this. I mean, this is a very crude way for me just to quickly show you how it works, but you get the idea. It's a very, very quick and easy library to work with when it comes to scoring drums. And obviously, you know, the benefits of being able to map everything and automate it all is something many libraries don't allow you to do. You're just very limited to what you can actually map. Now, if you were to compare this to another library, if I was forced to pick one, the sound of it is somewhere between Heaviosity's Master Ensemble Percussion and somewhere between Sound Iron's Apocalypse. It's sort of between those two. It's more of a, I don't know, a natural sound. It's got a punchy natural sound to it, but it can also be quite big and wet like Sound Iron's Apocalypse. But for me, I love the other two libraries. I love Heaviosity's Master Ensembles, and I also love Sound Iron Apocalypse. They're both great sounding products, but this one for me is a lot easier to work with, and I choose it over those two more often than not when I'm making drum sections. The only thing it really lacks is effects. So with Heaviosity stuff, you've got all the really cool sound mangling tools, the punish knob, and you know, the delays, reverbs, and you can automate them all and do some really crazy sounding stuff. This library doesn't really have any of that, and it'd be nice in the future to have some. I'm not asking for like loads of sound design features, but it'd be nice just to have something there just to please people that are looking for a library that does what this does, but also has the sound effects side of things as well. It'd be nice to see that in the future included into their future releases. But as far as it goes when it comes to a percussion library, this one's right up there with the very best. It's so easy to use, it sounds fantastic, and the most important thing is it allows you just to make music and not worry about programming functions and messing around moving MIDI for different patches and and all that kind of stuff. It's just one of those you just can get on with it and not really have any troubles using it. So as far as the video, guys, it's just a very brief overview of this product. I hope you've enjoyed it, and also the little demo at the start of the video. One thing I want to thank you all for as well is for subscribing. We've nearly hit 1k subscribers, which is, I'm still quite surprised about actually that many people want to listen to me talk. It's very strange feeling, but I enjoy making these videos, and I enjoy the interaction I get from you guys as well. So I'm going to leave it there. As always, thank you all for watching, and be sure to check out this product. I'll leave a link in the description below to their website, so you can have a listen to some of their demos. They've got loads of different demos on there which really showcase how this library sounds. But definitely from me, I give it a good double thumbs up, and I would highly recommend checking it out and even buying it if you're looking to get a percussion library, or you're about to buy your first percussion library. This would be the one to probably snap up. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching.